One of the topics yesterday was Mikel Arteta. Does he have a selection headache when it comes to Eze and Odegaard? What's your thoughts on this situation here, Don?
Oh, it's Eze all day long, Kate. I commentated on the Wigan game in the FA Cup over in Bristol, and he was magnificent. The kid's got special ability. He needs to be given his head now. You know, all right, he went for a little bit of a bad form. I think no goals in the last 8 before he got these couple of goals against Tottenham. But the kid's just got magic in his boots. He's got a swagger about him. He can play. He gets on the half turn. Odegaard's a fantastic footballer, don't get me wrong. But this guy's got more end product. I think he's got assists in him. He's definitely got goals in him. Yeah. I think if you played Eze for 38 games in the Premier League, I think he'd be looking at something like, or he should be looking at some 15 goals. You know, playing in that position, I think, as I said, he's got the natural ability. He's got the ability to take players on. He's got a yard of pace. He's got a bit of strength. He's got positional awareness. And he knows where the back of the net is. So I think the shirt has to be his.
Do you agree with that, Mario?
Yeah, I would play Eze. Why I would play Eze is also because he can do more than just create things. You know, I want a player that he has goals in him, and we can say like, okay, against Spurs, you could say the first time, you could say, oh, it's lucky. But then he does it again. Come on, this is not luck anymore, because now the luck is out of the window. And I don't want to say Odegaard's not a great player. No, I like Odegaard, but I definitely want to put some pressure on the situation in the sense of like, I am here, I came here to play. So now I'm gonna test my coach. I'm gonna say to him, like, if I'm Eze, I'm gonna be like, coach, what is for me key to be able to get my opportunity and battle for that position with the player that is playing there? And of course, he's the captain, and it doesn't matter because the captain always gets some special treatment, but not in the sense when you are competing, in the sense of like, I'm showing that I'm worth of it. So that's why I say like Eze, yes, he needs to keep going, and he needs to definitely ask questions to his coach.
You want to say anything about this?
The boys pretty much echoed what I said yesterday. I think Eze should get a run on the side. I agree. I think his end product is more accurate. I think he takes more risks than Martin Odegaard in the final third. I think he's prepared to try and play more killer balls and hence give the ball away a bit more often, but be prepared to take that little bit of heat to find. And I'm a big believer in, you know, don't try and pad your stats. And I'm not suggesting Odegaard is, but he's a very tippy-tappy player at times. And he's very happy to go sideways and, you know, play these 1-2s. And it can be pretty at times, but I think if you look at his goals from where he's been playing in that position, I might be wrong, he's got 1 this year in the Premier League. I know he's missed a lot of games, but I think Eze would have a bigger threat in terms of goals return from that number 10 position. And I think he takes more risks in terms of that final ball. And yeah, a lot of them might not come off, but I think he takes those chances and he plays those passes. He has the ability to do so, and he's got a sort of swagger about him, isn't he? And I for one, would like to see him given a long run in the side. I think he never got that run after he scored the hat-trick at the Emirates against Tottenham, because Odegaard came back into the side pretty soon after that, and he was shunted to the left side and then he got dropped. So I would like to see him given a run, and I think Arteta's shown, to be fair, that he's not frightened to make that big decision. Odegaard's the captain, well, you're not playing. But is he going to do it between now and the end of the season? I'd like to think he is, because I think Eze's a talent in there that can change games that are tight. Yesterday's game wasn't tight in the end, but he can change games that are tight with his end product. And at the moment, for me, he's the man with that number 10 shirt.
Let's take a look at what the loss does mean for Spurs right now. They find themselves just 4 points above the relegation zone with 11 games to go. They're also the only winless team in the Premier League in 2026. Don, what's it like for these players right now to be so close to where they are, looking at those relegation spots?
Horrible. Yeah, horrible. I went down, as you know, with West Ham. With an unbelievable side that we went down with a Premier League record of 42, and the team was filled with England internationals, and you know, our team was guys like Thomas Repka and Christian Daly and David James, Joe Cole, Paolo Di Canio, Trevor Sinclair, Jermaine Defoe, Freddie Canute, a team that was pretty stacked, and we got to sort of Christmas time and we looked around in the dressing room, we thought, we're going to be fine. Like, you look at Canute and you look at Di Canio, you look at Jermaine Defoe and the guys that I mentioned, and you go, we'll be all right. Then all of a sudden, a busy December, busy Jan, you get to Feb and you go, holy moly, we're in the bottom 3. but we'll be fine. And then the games go by and you've got no form to lean on, and you're winning like 1 in 3 and 4, and you're not jumping too many places because all the teams have gone away from you. I'm probably a little bit in the minority where I think Spurs will be okay. I think they'll just about be okay. They've got some wins in them from now to the end of the season. They're going to have to improve, don't get me wrong, but their fixtures compared to Forest and West Ham have got the worst run of fixtures. Their fixtures are horrible. So I look probably, and I think Spurs should be okay or might be okay. Then I'm looking 50-50 between Forest and West Ham. But it's a horrible situation and scenario to be in because you live in game by game. And my memory of being in that dogfight with West Ham is every home game that we played, there was always TVs, big massive plasmas in the dressing room. The first thing we done when we came in, whether we won or we lost, is we banged on the TV and we saw all the results about the teams in and around us. You got a little bit of joy when you've seen someone lose, and then you were quickly deflated when you thought, oh no, they've won. And then you try and do all the math in your head, and then you fast forward 7 days later, another game comes.
Yeah, tough times for Spurs, so we'll see how
it's
it
like
all
when
plays out.
it's like when you go to, you're looking at those games and you think, how the hell did West Ham just beat Arsenal? Or something like, you know what I'm saying? How did Forest do that? And you're down there, and I don't know if Mario said this scenario, but I had it when I left Celtic, the same as Don. When I left Celtic, and I'd never been in a relegation battle with Chelsea, really, and certainly not at Celtic. And then I went to Derby, and it's a different mindset. When you're going well, you're looking forward to the weekend. And when you're going badly, you're dreading the weekend. And you start looking at the fixtures as a player, because you're thinking to yourself, you look around your dressing room, you think, well, have we got enough or haven't we got enough? Then you look at the fixtures and you go, Arsenal away, Liverpool at home, Chelsea. You're now thinking.
Are you doing the yes/no in your head?
Well, it's depressing, because you can see the Championship spiralling towards you, and then all that doubt in your mind. And when you're a team that's not used to being in that position, and Tottenham really, I mean, although they were heading that way under Postecoglou, they were never really in a relegation battle because it was at the end of the season. We're quite some way from the end of the season now, and they're in it. Now, they're not. This squad is not programmed for a relegation battle. It's a bit of a fancy Dan team, isn't it? If we get in Europe, we'll be all right. The manager will get sacked. He'll take the blame. But all of a sudden, you're down in that bottom 4 or 5, and the natives at the London Stadium, they are going to get restless if they aren't already. And that pressure just compounds on a weekly basis as every result gets worse. And that is really when you find out what the makeup is of your teammates. Because you start looking around the dressing room and going, who's going to help? And that's when you find out if you've got guys with a good mentality or if you've got guys that are going to completely chuck it when the pressure gets on, which is kind of where Tottenham are getting into. Mario?
No, he's right, because I've been in that situation too, what they talk about, because I've been with Birmingham, and it happened, like what Don said, you go down and you're like, oh my God. Then I said, I promised myself it will never happen again. I go to Wigan, I'm right in the battle too. So the only thing that you do then is that you need a player that is confident, or not confident, but is ready for the battle in the sense of like, he will take the heat when things are really going bad. And fortunate, I had that time, Steve Bruce was my manager, for example, and I was right back. He called me, get on the ball. But I'm like, get on the ball, I'm a defender. No, you have to have the forwards. But I had to do it, because there were guys that the confidence was really, really low. So I had to go and pick up the ball, try to create something and do something. But the key thing now is going back to Spurs. When you look at Spurs, right, what Craig said was very, very good, because if you look at the players, you think that, Gallagher came there and thought like, oh, I'm going to be in this situation, it's going to put me there. Look at Simons. Simons comes, he comes there. You think that he is a player it's capable of already had it in. Look, I'm not saying that they won't be able to have the fight and not ready for the fight, but one thing I'm saying is that they did not come for this battle. They didn't come and ask themselves like, oh, I'm going to be in this situation, because this is going to be a lot of pressure. It could be also maybe good pressure if they come out of it, because now they know how it is, because you have to go after trying to win the league, regardless if that is a big shot that I'm talking about now. But that is the pressure that the guys like Arsenal, Manchester City, even if Liverpool drops, Man United, Chelsea later on will have to, you need to have that fight in you to say this season starts, I need to win it. Spurs doesn't have that feeling yet. And now they're in the feeling of saying I cannot relegate because it's a club that never relegated. So it's incredible what they're going through now, but they have to make sure the team and the individuals are ready for this battle. If not, they have a problem.
Yeah, we'll see if there's.
Have I done something to upset somebody?
What's wrong?
Because right in front of me, off camera here, they're replaying the Man United Everton game.
You don't want to watch that.
I feel that
wonderful excitement again.
My eyes keep getting drawn to it over here. It's like purgatory, you know what I mean? I'm having to watch that again.
Gavin Jules, you can go and check out to see their thoughts on the North London derby and many more things that have been going on in the world of football wherever you get your podcasts.